Do you feel like this is like a place we're supposed to learn something? Do you feel like it's a place that we're kind of just spending time?
An experience, a destination. You and I are at an age where we remember when the video game experience wasn't what it is now. It was still a game, like Monopoly or something, you know? Where it is now, it's a whole different universe that you can live inside from your Xbox or your PlayStation. And in Call of Duty, you're an actual soldier and you get kills and deaths and eliminations. And when you then cross over to the PGA game, you have your actual golfer that looks like you and has the name you gave him, and he's really gonna go out there and do this 18 on Whistling Straight. And you know what I mean? Like, then I go and get in my Podium 1 sim racer and I pick the car of my choice, and I'm an actual racer. So those experiences located in that console, that's this experience here on Earth that we're all able to share. And that's what would make that reincarnation possible. It just means, yesterday I played that game, and today I'm logging in this experience. And so, certainly a universal college, if you will.
This is Chris. Welcome to the world's first GYATT Fortnite podcast, where a new customizable genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, Iron Man skin is about to hit the item shop soon. Jarvis, we're going to need a bigger plan. Technically, someone else might already have a Fortnite podcast, but in the spirit of Fortnite, I'm playing Fortnite OG Season 2 because I enjoy tense 200-meter sniper battles where we try to take our heads off from our porta bunkers for the victory royale. Romantic. The new side stride emote with the guitar, it's like 200 V-bucks, is my new favorite emote. Cause it reminds me of the taking the L emote with the same leg movements, but just playing the bass guitar. You should check it out. The Flight Alice skin from Nike is amazing. Takumi of the Tides came out, but I wasn't a fan of the fish samurai element. But I did pick up the Moon's Eye backbling. Absolutely, I thought that was great. And let's get ready to dive in. The following is a narrative poem called One Day. One day, when I hire people for my company, all the Fortnite-related things they would do if the story was told by me. If you got on the roof of a house before me, but if you had a bounce pad and just made it there before I did, you would get dibs on anything I called out on that day. Hey, I have an extra piece of chicken parmesan. Take it. Take it. I have some garlic rolls right there, and I still think there's one slice left in the box. Take it. But the guy who made it last to the roof because he had no mobility items except one chili chug splash, but it ran out, he didn't get the promotion or the garlic rolls. You gotta come first. You have to make it there before I do. Cuddle team leaders would be the HR managers of the work world, and you would just sit there and sob there, or just stare into the person wearing the cuddle team leader face helmet. What an epic win. And you know she's like hot underneath. Hot like temperature because of the helmet, but also hot like she's slamming, bro. You really want to butter those biscuits. The only way you can eat lunch is if you hit the phone booth and you change, right? But you have to change into a Midas skin just to enter the lunchroom. And it's all different people, but all different Midases. That way, you really want to finish all your food just because you know it's gonna be good if all the Midases are there. All right, everybody's gonna be there. The Lieutenant John Llama guy will be in the lunch area, sweeping and mopping with two robots, the mini robots from Chapter 6, Season 1. Sweeping and mopping. Sweeping and mopping. Sweeping and mopping. The game that plays you. Fortnite. You know it. You've played it. Maybe you've even raged over it, thrown a controller across the room, or stared into the distance wondering why that random duo left you for dead after you risked everything to reboot them. We've all been there. But today, I want you to stop and really think about something. Not the kind of thinking you do when you're deciding whether to land at Tilted Towers or play it safe at some forgotten bush near the edge of the map. No, I'm talking about the kind of thinking that makes you squint at your screen, lean back in your chair, and ask yourself, what if Fortnite isn't just a game? Yeah, I know. That sounds dramatic. But hear me out. What if Fortnite is more than a battle royale? More than a creative sandbox? More than a metaverse filled with neon colors, anime collabs, and that one kid who insists on emoting after every elimination, like he's performing on Broadway or something? What if Fortnite is a controlled social experiment? A live, ongoing test designed to measure how we think, how we react, how we adapt. A game that doesn't just study if you're cracked at building, but one that quietly tracks every decision you make. Where do you land? Do you trust your random squad mate with the shield keg or keep it for yourself? Do you push that final fight or hide in a bush and hope the storm handles it for you? Every choice, every rage quit, every time you sprint back to the item shop because Epic dropped another overpriced skin you swore you weren't going to buy, it's all data. It's all data. It really is. Zeros and ones. Think about it. Fortnite isn't just a game with millions of players. It's an ecosystem, a living, breathing world where people from every corner of the planet log in, interact. They compete, they cooperate, and occasionally throw impulse grenades at their teammates just for the laughs. But what if that's exactly the point? What if every vaulted weapon, every controversial update, every time Epic accidentally breaks the game for a day, it's all part of the plan? Maybe they're not just keeping the game fresh. Maybe they're watching. Not in a tinfoil hat, Epic has hidden cameras in my living room kind of way. but in the way a scientist watches ants in an ant farm, or how reality TV producers create drama just to see how people react. Fortnite changes constantly, not because it has to, but because we are the experiment. And if that's true, what exactly are they studying? The rules of the experiment, how Fortnite controls us. All right, now that your brain slightly melted from the idea that Fortnite could be a massive social experiment, let's dig deeper. Let's talk about the rules of the experiment. Because here's the thing, every good experiment needs variables, it needs control groups, shifting conditions, and unexpected stimuli to see how subjects, aka us, react. And what better way to test millions of people at once than do a game that constantly rewrites its own rules? Think about it. Every single season, Fortnite changes something fundamental. One minute you're sliding around with Spider-Man's web shooters, the next you're sprinting like an Olympic athlete, wielding a sword straight out of an anime. My favorite. Why? Sure, Epic could say it's about keeping the game fresh. But what if it's not? What if it's a test of adaptation? Epic throws conditions at us, and we either evolve or we get left behind. You think you're good at Fortnite? Nah, you're good at this version of Fortnite. But what happens when they rip the rug out from under you? Let's start with vaulting items. On the surface, it's a balancing mechanic. Oh, this gun is too OP. Or this mobility item messes with the meta. But what if that's not the whole story? What if vaulting isn't just about balance, but about seeing how people react when something is taken away? Think about it. The drum gun, gone. Boogie bombs. Here one day, gone the next. Your favorite loadout, irrelevant after the next patch. And every time Epic does this, the community goes through the 5 stages of grief. Denial. They're not really vaulting the pump, right? Anger. How could they do this to us? Bargaining. Maybe it'll come back next season. Depression. I don't even want to play anymore. Acceptance. Okay, the new shotgun's kind of decent. It's like watching humanity's emotional spectrum play out in real time, all over a digital weapon. But it gets weirder. Let's talk about no build mode. At first glance, it's just a fun new twist, right? Hey, here's Fortnite without the thing that made Fortnite Fortnite. But what if that wasn't just about giving players options? What if it was a study, an experiment to see how people function when you strip away their core skill set? Do builders quit in frustration, or do they adapt? Do new players feel empowered without the pressure to crank 90s? Does it create new player dynamics? Or expose just how reliant we were on certain mechanics? It's like Epic said, what happens if we take the wings off a bird? Will it learn to walk? And the craziest part? It worked. No build became one of the most popular modes. People adapted. The experiment was a success. And then there's the big one, the OG map return. Everyone thought it was just fan service, right? Hey, here's a classic map you all begged for. Now buy the battle pass. But what if, just what if, this wasn't about nostalgia at all? What if it was an experiment on memory and emotional attachment? Would players come back just because of a map? I mean, I did. Does nostalgia boost engagement, more than new content? How much of our love for Fortnite is about the gameplay, and how much is just about chasing a feeling we had years ago? But you know what? It all worked. The OG season broke records. Millions of lapsed players returned. People logged in, stared at Tilted Towers this week like it was the Sistine Chapel, and said, yes, this is gaming perfection. But here's the thing, the gameplay didn't change. We did. So when you really break it down, Fortnite isn't just evolving for fun. It's adapting to see if we can adapt. It's vaulting weapons to see how we handle loss. It's removing core mechanics to see if we fall apart or find new ways to win. It's bringing back old maps to test how powerful our memories are compared to the present. It's almost like Fortnite is trying to answer a bigger question. What keeps people engaged? What makes them leave? What makes them stay? And if that's what they're studying, what does that say about us? The social manipulation of players. Absolutely. So we've established that Fortnite isn't just changing the game, it's changing us. But here's where things get even more interesting. Because Fortnite doesn't just test how you react as an individual, it tests how we interact with each other. It's not just a solo experiment, it's social engineering at its finest. Picture this, you're in a squad, the storm's closing in, your teammate gets knocked. You've got full health, great loot, and a clear shot at making it to the circle alone. But there's the reboot van, shining like this beacon of guilt. What are you gonna do? Do you risk it all, sprint through the gunfire, and try to save them like some kind of hero? That's what I usually do. Or do you look at their knocked out body, silently shake your head, and think, nah, I'm not dying. I'm not dying for you, bro. You landed at the wrong POI. See, the reboot van isn't just a game mechanic. It's a loyalty test. It forces you to choose between self-preservation and squad solidarity. Epic didn't just add it to make the game more fun. They added it to see how far players will go for each other. Will you risk everything for a teammate? Or will you leave them behind because winning is more important? It's like Fortnite is holding up a mirror and asking, are you a good person? Or are you just good at the game? And it's not just the big moments like rebooting. Let's talk about loot. Do you share your shield potions or do you chug them in the corner like a gremlin? Do you ping good loot for your squad? Or do you pretend you didn't see it? I'm very guilty of that. Are you more generous with friends, but stingy with randoms? Another thing that I'm guilty of. Fortnite watches. Okay, literally, not, maybe not literally, but the system is designed to observe how we handle resources. Because sharing isn't just about kindness, it's about trust. And Fortnite constantly tests that trust over and over again. Every time you find a gold scar and think, should I give it to this guy with better aim or keep it because it's shiny? You got to keep it. But wait, it gets deeper. Let's talk about skins. Why do all the sweats, for real, wear the same outfits? You know exactly the ones I'm talking about. The superhero skin in a solid black color, the soccer skins, the random default skin who's somehow a god tier builder. Why are you wearing the default skin? Is it just preference? Or is Epic subtly conditioning us to associate specific skins with playstyles? Like, why do you instinctively sweat harder when you see someone wearing the same skin as you? Is it tribalism, ego, or is Epic conducting a low key psychological study on how we form digital identities? Think about the Icon series too. Collabs with celebrities like Travis Scott, Ariana Grande, or even Ninja. It's not just about selling skins, it's about studying how people form identities based on digital cosmetics. Do you wear a skin because you like it? Or because you like how people perceive you when you wear it? Does wearing a famous skin give you a false sense of clout in the game? Is your Fortnite skin just an outfit? Or is it your way of saying, this is who I am? And then there's the big one, skill based matchmaking. On the surface, it's simple. You play against people of a similar skill level. Fair, right? But what if skill based matchmaking isn't just about balance? What if it's a test of frustration tolerance? Think about it. Ever notice how you'll have a few easy matches, and then suddenly it feels like the game throws you into lobbies with literal Fortnite gods? You go from victory royale to spectating before you hit the ground, faster than you can say crank 90s. Is that random? Or is Fortnite feeding you winnable matches just often enough to keep you hooked, while sprinkling in brutal losses to fuel the grind? Because here's the thing, struggle creates obsession. If you won every match, you get bored. If you lost every match, you'd quit. But if you're stuck in that sweet spot, almost winning, but not quite, you keep playing. You keep chasing the high. It's like Fortnite is saying, we could let you win more, but then we wouldn't want to we wouldn't get to watch you suffer. Would we? So, yeah, maybe Fortnite isn't just a game. Maybe it's a social lab where we're all the test subjects. And the question isn't, are we being manipulated? The question is, how far will we go before we realize it? If this is a social experiment, who's running it? So we pull back the curtain on how Fortnite might be manipulating us, testing our reactions, studying our behavior, and engineering our social dynamics. But here's the real question that keeps me up at night. If Fortnite is a social experiment, who's running it? Is it Epic Games? I mean, sure, they're the obvious answer. They built the game, they control the updates, they decide when to vault your favorite gun just to watch you spiral into emotional chaos. But are they really the puppet masters? Or are they just participants in the experiment too? Think about it. Maybe Epic isn't trying to manipulate us. Maybe they're being manipulated themselves. Or what if it's not even humans pulling the strings? What if Fortnite's algorithm is alive? Okay, not like Skynet is sending Terminators alive, but think about it. Fortnite collects millions of data points every second, every shot fired, every building placed, every rage quit after getting sniped from across the map. What if all that data isn't just being analyzed? What if it's learning? An algorithm that doesn't just balance the game, but evolves it. What if Epic isn't designing Fortnite's meta anymore? What if the game itself is shaping its own evolution based on how we play. Imagine Fortnite as this giant invisible brain watching us, studying us, and tweaking itself to see how we react. You add a new weapon here, you vault a fan favorite there, you introduce a collab so unexpected it makes people question reality. You know what this shooter needs? A banana in a tuxedo. Why? Because the algorithm wants to see how far it could push us before we break. And honestly, we never do. But what if it goes even deeper? What if Fortnite isn't just a game or even just a algorithm? What if it's part of a bigger experiment? A study on human behavior, a test of how people form communities in digital spaces, a simulation designed to see how we adapt to a world where reality and virtual life are becoming indistinguishable. What if Fortnite's real purpose isn't entertainment, but training? What kind of training, though, right? Training us for a digital first future where the metaverse isn't just a buzzword, but the new reality, where we live, work, socialize, and even exist inside systems designed to keep us engaged, controlled, and studied. So, yeah, who's really running the experiment? Epic Games? An AI? Some shadowy organization studying human behavior on a global scale? Or maybe it's us. Maybe we're running it ourselves because we keep playing, we keep reacting, and we keep being part of the system. And if that's true, what exactly are we training for? So here we are. We've pulled apart the game, the mechanics, the psychology, the what ifs. We've asked questions most people don't even think about when they're busy cranking 90s or chasing their next elimination. But after everything we've unpacked today, I have to ask you, are we willing test subjects? Because Fortnite is a deliberate social experiment crafted by masterminds at Epic, or just, just naturally occurring one that evolved without anyone intending it. The reality is this: it's changed us. It's changed how millions of people around the world interact, think, and engage with digital spaces. It's taught us how to communicate without words, just through emotes and pings. It's made us feel real emotion over virtual victories and pixelated loot drops. It's pushed us to adapt to change faster than most of us do in real life. One day you're learning to build walls. The next day, walls don't even matter. You either evolve or you get left behind. I mean, Fortnite's basically life, but with better skins. Think about it. You lose things you love, like your favorite weapon getting vaulted. You form friendships with people you've never met in real life. You chase rewards that technically do not matter, but still feel like they do. And isn't that kind of the human experience? Boiled down, but into a battle royale. But here's the wild part: maybe Fortnite isn't just testing us, maybe it's teaching us how to adapt to rapid change, teaching us how to form connections in a world that's becoming increasingly digital, teaching us the value or illusion of digital rewards, status, and identity. And if that's true, maybe the real experiment isn't about how we play the game, Maybe the real experiment is whether we realize we're a part of it. Because every time you log in, every time you drop from the battle bus, every time you dance after elimination or rage quit because someone third-partied you, you're contributing data to something bigger than just your KD ratio. Seriously, you're part of an ecosystem, a giant invisible web of interactions, emotions, choices, and behaviors. And whether or not someone's studying it, it's happening. The real question is, are we aware of it? Or are we just too busy grinding for the next tier of the battle pass to even notice? So if Fortnite is an experiment, what are they really trying to learn from us? Is it how we handle success and failure? Is it how we form digital identities, attach value to pixels, or chase rewards that vanish with the next update? Or maybe, just maybe, it's about how we deal with the one thing Fortnite's always guaranteed to give us: change. Because no matter what, no matter how many times the map flips, the weapons rotate, or the mechanics shift, one thing stays the same. We keep coming back. And maybe that's the answer to the experiment right there. And this is Chris. Thanks for tuning in to the world's first GYATT Fortnite podcast. Until next time, keep your shields up, your emotes ready, and remember, it's all about how you see the game. We are a little less than 3 weeks away from Chapter 6, Season 2. Feels good. Shout out to all the love I received on last week's podcast. I'll be doing a part 2 to that pretty soon. I got messages all the way from Argentina, around the world. Shout out to everybody that likes astrology and that likes Fortnite. And if you'd like to follow me, please remember to like and subscribe. And you can catch me on X at GYATTFortCast. And still on TikTok at GYATTFortnitePodcast. You can support this podcast at Cash App chrisfreshier. We're already done with January. Super Bowl next week. I am looking so forward to it. You can't deny Mahomes. I will see everybody soon.